Hey team, a very good morning. Euro USD continues to trickle down lower with a very slow and choppy price action. Nothing too much actionable here on the current price action and just simply waiting for today's news to drop. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the week, we have today being Friday, NFP coming out. So waiting now currently for NFP numbers to be released, and after we have more clarity from what the market actually wants, I'll be able to be taking new positions overall. Overall, the week has been pretty slow. At the beginning of the week, I mentioned that I was looking for potential longs on Euro USD due to the fact that the daily time frame is still within its bullish phase. So as you can see here from a daily perspective, the overall daily trend here that we've been seeing has been an overall push up in towards the highs, an overall retracement in towards the downside. We took out major liquidity, which is resting underneath this low here, and ever since we have been following an overall internal uptrend in towards the highs. Now, as I also mentioned, there's still liquidity here, and it's still perfectly fine to take out either one of the lows and then from there look for a potential reversal up higher. Now, for that reversal up higher to take place, what do we need? We need ultimately bad NFP numbers and also bad numbers on the average hourly earnings. So let's keep an eye today on what these numbers produce, and then based on that, next week we'll be able to take the new bigger swings and new potential positions, because as we can see so far this week, the market is just a one and all chop and just waiting for those numbers to come out. So let's see what happens on that side. Overall, what I've been waiting for is just clearly an order flow shift. We can see here that the overall buy for the sell is currently still in control, and if we're able to break above that buy for the sell, that is then the moment that we can look for longs again, and until then we can just expect the market to further chop around. So nothing really for myself here at the moment. Again, I am looking to get into buy positions, but I'm waiting for the market to align with potential entries, and that is what we are currently waiting for there on Euro USD. In the meantime, you can see that the overall, let's say 1 hour internal trend has continued to push the market down lower. So first of all, at the beginning of the week, we came back up in towards, for example, this liquidity high over here. And ever since we took out that liquidity high, we then saw the 1 hour change of character here, or the 1 hour internal market structure shift. That supplies and then continue to push the market down lower. So therefore, I'm now just waiting for that overall bigger supply zone, which is a 4 hour buy up for the sell down. I'm waiting for that to break before getting involved with any potential longs. For the rest, price action is relatively flat. As we can see, Euro USD is relatively just stuck within this overall kind of like sideways range. So let's keep an eye open. It should find some support potentially soon, as we're nearing somewhat of an area of support and resistance here. Not that we really look at it, but it is something that you can take into consideration for potential bounce. So let's wait and see what happens. For the rest, not too much. Just looking here at the weekly time frame, we are now situated near that weekly area of demand, the sell down for the buy up, which is in line with the weekly bullish fractal structure. So the fractal structure here on the weekly is this is the low and this is the high. The market is now retraced into the 0.5 fib retracement level. So yeah, again, also based on the weekly, we could see a bounce soon, as we're nearing the 0.5 of the overall area of consolidation as well, where we are at the 0.5 fib. So overall, consolidated price action for Euro USD, hence why I'm focusing now on the fundamentals. But for those fundamentals now to kind of like align with, let's say, the daily time frame bias, which is bullish overall, where we've been seeing impulses, pullbacks continuously. We're now just waiting for the market to provide us with what? To provide us with a clear overall trend shift. So we've had that downtrend, and then here shift up. Therefore, this is now the swing low, the swing high, and now we're just waiting for this overall market to start turning around, finding somewhat of a support over here. And that could come from the bad NFP numbers that we might see today. If the numbers are good, we could still see somewhat of a further dump down, take out this low here. But then we'll have to wait next week to see how we open, see if we get any bullish price action at all before looking for longs. If we do start breaking these lows, then obviously we can start looking for shorts more and more. Now, going into the dollar index, the dollar index remains relatively unclear / consolidative. Not too much from this index at the moment. We continue to push up higher for now. Again, we're taking out all of the highs here and pushing in towards this area of supply. Let's see what price does within this area of supply. It's kind of like the last form of resistance. If this supply fails, then probably we'll move up higher, back up towards this supply zone over here. For the rest, again, weekly time frame, very, very slow at the moment, moving sideways. So there is not a lot of use in analyzing this. And like I said, all I can then say based on the weekly time frame and the daily time frame is that if this current supply zone does fail, then it might be better to look for sells from this higher area of supply. So let's keep an eye on those two areas of supply for now. Moving on into GBP USD. GBP USD, on the other hand, has been moving relatively clean. As I've been mentioning for quite some time, this is kind of like the top pick for bearishness. So if you did take a sell on top of the overall blue dotted line, which is liquidity, then you did have a nice potential downside push already of around 130 pips. So congrats on that. Pretty nice move over here. Again, where this here is the swing high, this here is the swing low. We've taken out all of the liquidity, and now for kind of like the optimal setups, you now want the order flow to shift, which is this line over here, and then look for further downside. So keep on monitoring that, what happens there. Although I must say this is not the cleanest of downside pushes, this overall consolidative choppy downside push. So it is still definitely possible that we just sweep the lows and then head up higher again. So really wait for somewhat of a sustained push down like this. This becomes future liquidity, and then we can look for those further shorts on the trend shift. But if you are in already, congratulations, looks good. Then moving on into AUD USD. So AUD USD has continued with its dip down lower. Let's monitor what happens here. Again, this overall pullback was pretty much expected from the overall liquidity high, which we highlighted at the beginning of the week, which is mainly clear from a daily perspective, which is situated here. So far it's been causing the overall pullback to happen. Again, this is also paired with the breaker structure that we had here. So we had the breaker structure. After the breaker structure, what happens? We take out liquidity and we see the ascending correction over here. So let's see, this could lead to an overall deeper correction before in the future looking for new longs again. And if you look at this price action, then this here is the overall impulsive phase, and this could be the start of the correction phase before then, for example, looking at this as a liquidity low, and then in the future again looking for new longs again. But as long as the current order flow holds, meaning that if you go to the 4-hour time frame here and you look at the 4-hour time frame, then what do you have? You have somewhat of a demand zone here. So let's wait and see. We've taken out this black line, which is internal liquidity, and what you now would want to see is a market structure shift up, which is this black line's high break, because we've now taken out this low. Boom, 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 something like that. For any longs, other than that, if supply holds, then you can just look for further shorts in towards the downside. But obviously the market has been pushing up higher and higher, so I'm not really interested in shorts at all. I'm more just focused on the next potential long in towards the upside if we get any break up higher. But if we do kind of like take out these lows strongly, then we could expect somewhat of a deeper downside push. Going into NZD USD. NZD USD has also been correcting down lower. Again, we had the ascending lows here, which we highlighted at the beginning of the week as well. Hence why kind of like a little bit undesirable to go long from the demand zone. Perfectly fine. I'll be looking for pretty much just a little bit of a deeper correction for now. This is kind of like my main liquidity low, and once that low gets taken out and I see 4-hour confirmation, that is when I'll be looking for a buying opportunity once again. So looking for pretty much just it to correct a little bit deeper in towards the downside. Then of course we have USD CAD, USD Yen, and USD Swiss. USD CAD has continued this overall leg up higher, though we can see that after taking out these ascending lows here, that the markets, let's say, reacted with a V-shaped reversal. We had supply over here where we took out some equal highs over here, and then saw for a change of character, but the order flow just remained in control, kept pushing the market up higher. For now, it's not looking too good for sells just yet. I would like to see an overall deeper correction again in towards the downside, but it's definitely not my top pick at the moment. Again, we've taken out somewhat of a liquidity high, so from here we could start seeing somewhat of a correction, but again, just wait for a clear order flow shift before really getting involved. And as we can see here, we didn't get an order flow shift. Here, demand is still untapped, So just wait for this, then this is demand, and then wait for really a demand shift to happen before getting involved. Because for the rest, USD CAD is just not really ready yet to trade, in my opinion. Going into USD CHF, USD CHF pushed up higher in towards the first liquidity high. Now again, we can look for shorts from this liquidity high, but what do we need? We need to see an overall momentum shift. Now this is typical for January market, where you just have this kind of like choppy price action, and it's very hard to really get into a good position through or thanks to this kind of price action. For now, USD CHF is not really on my radar. Just because, again, of the consolidative nature that we've been seeing, similar to the dollar index, it's moving sideways. It is currently at a key level of support and resistance, being the 0.5 fib here of the range. And you can see that in the past that acted as an area of support and resistance as well. So just monitor what happens here. This is an area where we could start looking for shorts, but overall price action is not just the cleanest. USD JPY continues to push up higher towards the overall equal highs here at around 158. So expecting that to get taken out in the near future. And then for us to potentially make somewhat of a deeper push down again. USD JPY has been consolidating, so I will be looking for a short once we take out the equal highs here, and then get the overall change of character. That could lead us to taking then out these lower liquidity lows. Gold in itself, looking for further upside, still actually all week. Again, for gold as well, it's been a pretty slow week. Not really moved too much except for on Monday. But tomorrow, or today, excuse me, we will be looking for longs if the US data does come out bad on NFP. So monitor those potential further upside pushes. Further longs somewhere throughout today in towards tomorrow. Looking for further longs on that side of things. So that's pretty much it for today. Gold in itself doesn't really need too much of a technical breakdown. Obviously, we are simply said bullish. The overall daily time frame here took out some liquidity and then saw a daily change of character, forming somewhat of a demand zone here. So we're just looking for further upside, and then lower time frame confirmation is what we now need to look for that next upside push. That's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks so much. Still very, very ill from the food poisoning, but hope to be back next week a lot stronger. Thanks for watching, and wish you all a fantastic trading day. Thanks, guys.